رمضان 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 يا حبيب رمضان.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم اللهم تسليما كثيرا. All praise due to Allah, and His praise and blessings and peace be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his family, his companions and his followers, and all the prophets and messengers and their followers. My dear brothers and sisters, we talking about Ramadan, the month of change, and the change that I'm focusing on in these episodes is really the change of our relationship with the Quran. Especially my dear brothers and sisters who don't speak Arabic, who don't understand Arabic. And I still see a great opportunity for you to contemplate in the Quran, reading the translation of the Quran, understanding the meaning of the Quran. Great impact on our souls, because the impact of the Quran is not only through the words, but also through the meanings. That's why these principles that I've been sharing with you, it can help a lot in contemplating on the verses of the Quran while you're reading the translation of it. And I said before in one of the episodes, this doesn't mean in any way or any shape that I am not encouraging anyone here to read Arabic or to learn Arabic, or there's no need for it. No. But simply what I'm doing here is to tell everyone there is no excuse for you not to live with the verses of the Quran, not to be able to see that connection, to make connection between you and the Quran. So the principle that I would like to talk about today is the issue of the opening of the surah. Anytime you start a surah, look at how the surah starts and ask yourself, what's the starting means, and how it's related to the verses after, how it's related to the subject of the surah. It's very interesting, and start thinking that way. I give you an example. There is a word in the Quran that says wail, or distractions, or a threat is made to. That's wail. And Ibn Abbas said wail is a valley in the hellfire. There is two surahs in the Quran, only two surahs in the Quran, where Allah started with this threatening. That's a very strong way of threatening someone, to say wail. And these two surahs are surah number 83 and surah number 104. وَيْلٌ لِلْمُطَفِّفِينَ وَيْلٌ لِكُلِّ هُمَزَةٍ لُمَزَةٍ. Wail to every scorner and mocker. Wail to those who give less than due. They cheat when they sell. Al-ulama rahimahullah said that the first chapter is in the context of the sanctuary of people's wealth, or the second one, the sanctuary of people's wealth, because when they wait, they give less. You know, in the old days, the exchange, so basically you give me that amount of gold, weight of gold, and equal to it amount of weight, for example, of barley. So when they give, or you give me fruits and I give you barley or whatever I wait for you, merchants that you need. So what they do, they cheat, they give less than due. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said here, wail, threaten to those who basically cheat people in businesses. And the second, in the context of the sanctuary of their honor, those who mock, those who give names, those who basically attack your honor. It's very interesting how Al-Quran talking about protecting people's honor and protecting people's wealth. And Allah also make a very serious threat to those who will violate that code. Why? Because the Quran care about protecting human beings, protecting their rights, protecting their wealth, and protecting their honor as well. That's the only two surahs in the Quran start with such a strong opening? Because it's such a serious matter. So when you read, you know that protecting people, honor and wealth, something that Allah cares for it so much, and He threatening anyone who will violate that. So that means that I should care for people's honor and people's wealth. I shouldn't be wasting their money. I shouldn't be cheating. I shouldn't be stealing. I shouldn't be like when we see all these corporates who only care about making millions of dollars to their CEOs and big investors, and they don't care about the rest of the public because they don't care about their wealth. We all know that when the market crashed, how the average persons who their retirement plan disappeared in front of their eyes in a matter of moments. But while the CEO of these big companies, they just double their bonuses and get more and more money. Wail. It's a threat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to those who mess with people's wealth. Those who come to borrow your money and they have no means to return it back. Those who take your money and they know they will never give it back to you. Oh, come on, join me in this business venture, and he knows that it's not a business, not going to succeed. No, there is no elements of success. Or he take your money as a borrow it, not as investing, to be investor. He borrow and promise you to give it back, and he knows that he's not going to be able to give it back. Wail to those people. To the people who basically mess with your honor. Accuse you with something you're free of. Those who say, those who basically make gossip, spread rumors, those who make false accusations, those who speak ill of others, those who are two faces. All those peoples, wail, backbiter, the people who backbite. There is basically a threat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to them, because that's a very serious matter. So one of the things that you need to think, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts with the verse with, and what's the unique thing about that. Let's have a quick break and we come back to continue our discussion inshallah ta'ala.
Ramadan, Ramadan, Ramadan ya Habib, Ramadan, 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 Ramadan ya Habib, Ramadan.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to continue our discussion about the principles that we can follow to change the way we read the Quran. As I said, I hope by the end of Ramadan we'll never read the Quran the same way again. And I'm specifically talking to my brothers and sisters who don't speak Arabic, that many of them sometimes share with me their frustration and how that they don't understand how to contemplate or to connect to the Quran. So through these principles, you can connect to the Quran a lot through connecting to the meanings of the verses, reflecting and thinking about these issues. And earlier I was talking about how it is very important to see how the verse starts, and basically you see the connection between the verse and what comes after it. Anytime you see Allah mention one of the letters, Alif Lam Mim, Ha Mim, Qaf, Al-Quran Al-Majid, Alif Lam Mim, Dhalik Al-Kitab, La Rayba Fi, telling us that this Quran is made of these letters, because Al-Quran was a challenge for the people. Allah challenged them to make or to bring a Quran similar to the Quran, or to bring verses similar to the verses, or to bring 10 or one surah, and they failed. And Allah keep telling them, hey, this Quran is made from the letters that you guys are very familiar with. Alif, Lam, Mim, Ha, Mim, Qaf, Sad. These are the letters, that the Arabic letters that you all know and you all memorize and you all use in your basically everyday dialogue. Why can't you use it to bring Al-Quran? That's why every time Allah mentioned these letters, followed by something, a description of the Quran and mentioning the Quran, as Imam Ibn Kathir rahimahullah said. When Allah started the Quran or any verse or surah with saying Alhamdulillah, there is 5 surahs in the Quran that start with Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. That's Surah Al-Fatiha. Then you have Surah Al-An'am. Alhamdulillahi alladhi khalaqa as-samawati wal-ard wa ja'ala adh-dhulumati wan-nur. Then you have Surah Al-Kahf. Alhamdulillahi alladhi anzala ala abdihi al-kitab. Then you have Surah Saba. Alhamdulillahi alladhi lahu ma fi as-samawati wa ma fi al-ard. Then you have Surah Fatir. Alhamdulillahi fatir as-samawati wal-ard. And al-ulama rahimahullah said, these 5 surahs, which start with Alhamdulillah, are very unique surahs. And starting with Alhamdulillah, all praise due to Allah, fits the subject of each and every surah. So Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, the Lord of all mankind. Because for the Lord of everything. Because this Surah Al-Fatiha has everything that you need. It's the mother of the book. In Surah Al-An'am, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking about At-Tawheed, speaking about Shirk, speaking about why people want to stray and worshipping other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala start this surah by mentioning all praise due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then after that, He mentioned what? He mentioned the proof of His oneness subhanahu wa ta'ala. That He is the one who made everything, created the light, created the nur, the haqq, the guidance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because of that, He created the heavens, خَلَقَ السَّمَوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَجَعَلَ الظُّلُمَاتِ وَالنُّورِ. He basically created day and night, creates heavens and earth. All these are proof that if He is the creator of all this, He's the one who deserves to be the only one worshipped as well. Then you will go to Surah Al-Kahf. It starts with praising Allah, the one who sent the book. Why? Because in Surah Al-Kahf, they came to challenge Muhammad ﷺ and tried to prove that he was not a true prophet by asking him stories that took place in the past or information that they thought he will not know about it, like about the story of the Qarnayn, or the story of the people of the cave, or about the soul, what happened to it and where it's made of, and so forth. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioning in this surah, Alhamdulillahi alladhi anzala ala abdihi al-kitab, the one who sent down the book to His servant. Because Al-Quran is the best proof that Muhammad ﷺ is the true messenger from his Lord. What proved that Muhammad ﷺ is the messenger is just not asking these random questions that people asking him about. It is by reading the message he came with. In Surah Saba, is speaking about the queen of sheep, sheep, and the queen of her kingdom, the kingdom of David, Solomon, and so forth, and all the things that Allah have given Solomon and David, controlling the wind, understanding the language of the birds, and basically the animals, ability to shape the iron, and so forth. All these unique things that they have, the unique kingdom they have, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us, Alhamdulillah, that all praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, الَّذِي لَهُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, that He owns and He is the owner of everything in the heavens and earth. So if you think that they had so much, the queen of Balqis or the king of Sulaiman or Dawood, that Allah has way more than anyone else. When Surah Fatir speaks about the signs of His Lordship subhanahu wa ta'ala, talk about the angels and how they are unique creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's the whole surah talking about the uniqueness and the greatness of Allah. That's why it starts, Alhamdulillahi fatiri samawati wal ard, the one who created the heavens and earth from nothing. Because the whole surah, from the beginning to the end, speaking about the uniqueness of Allah by mentioning the unique things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have made and created. So every time you read the surah, look at the beginning, how it starts, and look at how it's connected to the rest of the surah. And basically, what's the message that starts? Actually, the Quran starts in a very powerful way. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. This book, there is no doubt about it. Cat Stephen or Yusuf Islam, when he said, when I read this verse the first time, in the hospital, and got a copy from the Quran, then he opened the Mus'haf and he said, this is the first page. This book, there is no doubt about it. From the beginning, there is no doubt about this book. He said to himself, there's no one write a book and who would dare to say something like that. And that really what caught my attention. So the beginning of the surah carries a lot of meaning. Spend a little bit of time, anytime you read the Quran, with the first verse or a couple of verses. See what's the message, what you can relate to. Even if you go through the surah, go back to the beginning and try to make that, a connection, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to pay attention to. This will bring us to the end of our episode today, but I'm looking forward for the next episode to discuss with you principle number 8 and 9, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from all of us. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ramadan, Ramadan.